Allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get it higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Aha, now you not done here, all these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want to make the common man get waiting supposed get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one, Maiyegun, you go show na paper. Maiyegun diary Politico. So my people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo.
Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Maiyegun live. So thank you so much for joining me. Please read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. I mean, just to get yourself in tune into what we probably will be talking about, okay? So read that, share it, and also like it, okay? Invite your friends, your not so friendly friends, and tell them to join us. Maiyegun is live. Yeah, this is live. So their 2027 charade or race has officially kicked off, started. So meaning you are going to now begin to see posters. You've been seeing some though, all right? But now you're going to actually see a lot of them. You're going to start seeing them in their different convoys rallies, campaigns, promises, manifestos, and all of that. But there are those who are very much interested in the technical, what you call that, the technical process of your 2027 charade, as well as the key players, those they call the contenders, as well as the pretenders. So we are going to be finding out what will likely further shape your 2027 charade. Prior to now, or as it currently stands, it is believed that Tinubu and his APC, they are in the most advantageous position, meaning they are kind of like at the safe zone. They are not probably worried. And others are saying, well, just look out for what is going to happen in the next 150 days. Yeah, that's how long you have left. 149 days before your January 16 presidential election. You know, it's January, right? Yeah, okay. So a few days ago, the contenders or the contestants met. They call them candidates. So they met in Abuja with a committee that is organizing a peace accord. Peace accord is where the candidates, as well as also the candidates, signs on behalf of their party and their supporters that they will be very much orderly. They will not be insulting. They will not probably spread this tribal, ethnic, religious, and other hateful rhetorics during the election. And there will be no violence and all that. But people have now come out to criticize that, like that. That's just one almost a useless ceremony that they usually organize, which by all means never really had any impact on your elections. And those who violate the supposed peace accord are never punished. Now, to 2027 charade. So the NDC, which is the NDC presidential candidate, which is Peter Obi. Then you have Atiku, which is the ADC presidential candidate. You have Sowore, of course, the AAC presidential candidate. Then you have Tinubu, who is the incumbent, the APC presidential candidate. You have Adebayo too, who currently we are not too sure who is the presidential candidate between them. They have two factions. So you have Adebayo, a very, very cerebral, individual like that, gentleman, they call him. And who else? You have Donald Duke, the former governor of Cross River State. You have Seyi Makinde, the current governor of Oyo State. Mind you, on the side, ahead of this year 2027 race, the opposition are now making another move to see if they could all come together in the long run and back one candidate instead of all of them going into that election, individually. So the Atiku's people are saying, well, they welcome it if Peter Obi, his own group, decided to step down for Atiku, vice versa. So which means that may never happen. So they are all going to go into it individually. Again, that works for Kolu, or maybe not overall, right? So Atiku has said that this will be his own last race. Like, if he wins, he becomes your president at the age of 80, and then probably hang his boots at the age of 88. And Peter Obi, who promised to go for just a term, 4 years, that's what he said. He said 4 years is enough to set the stage. Then you have other people who are very upset, angry, because according to them, why would Peter Obi go sign a contract with Kwankwaso just to have his support and all that? So I think I've almost shared the highlights of what we are going to watch tonight. Okay, so Kolu, on the other hand, have now started reading out what he called his reforms achievements, including what they did with the subsidy money. Yeah, they found a way to link it to one or two things, and yeah, subsidy money went into paying for NEL fund Subsidy money went into increased state allocations. Subsidy money went into coastal road. Not true, by the way, okay? But yeah, so they are sharing that, and I'm going to share that with us tonight. So the other part is that of Atiku again, who is now saying he is going to return your subsidy, right? Like, people should begin to make that bold statement of what they want to do different from what Kolu is doing. And yeah, that makes sense. So people can have their choice. Do you want your subsidy back or you don't want it back? But that's something, right? So, but subsidy back, here is the guy who actually represented him on a program, Ologbo Dion is called, explaining why Atiku will be returning for a subsidy. Yeah.
Of the subsidy and brought us to our knees, everybody, the entire country.
But your candidate said he was going to remove subsidy.
See, that was always
He said he was going to remove subsidy as well.
Let me make the point. Now, fine for this. I like this question because I just argued this with the PA of Sowore. And I told him clearly, go and watch Atiku video. Atiku said that under President Olusegun Obasanjo, they devised 4 ways for removal of subsidies. So they wanted to face it. In phases. And he said that they did 2, but subsequent governments didn't follow that pattern. And as you know in the history of this country, one administration is doing one thing. When it leaves, the coming one will start a new thing. That one leaves, and that one starts a new thing. And at the end of the day, we are nowhere. We are nowhere. So Atiku said he will remove subsidy in phases. Not an absolute removal, because what has brought us to this knees now is the absolute removal. And I remember that it was you and I on this same platform then, when I said that decision was wrong, and that we have done a phase removal.
Mr. Nobody, you said there's a tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
We'll have time. It's 150 days. There's plenty of time to go into the issues. We have to thank you for coming on this morning, Mr. Kola.
150 days. APC believes in money. Don't let anybody think otherwise. Like, you shouldn't think otherwise. So APC believes in money, because through money, they can then implement other ideas, like to manipulate results or to falsify the result and so on. So without people actually getting paid, it becomes difficult. Okay? But Tinubu doesn't need, according to his guys, right, the type of rigging they are plotting for your 2027 is one scientific one, right? It's kind of like a scientific. It is not mostly going to be about snatching of ballot or changing of election results here and there and all of that. Not just that. It is going to be so meticulous that it probably needs time to, I would need time to break that idea down for you. So for example, let's say Peter Obi, for example, pulled another surprise, because right now they are doing everything to downplay his threat in the face of their supporters. To them, he's pretty much not as strong as he was in 2023. And even if he is as strong as 2023, I mean, his supporter base, they won't be caught unaware anymore, not like in 2023. Meanwhile, right, if he should pull that surprise based on the situation of the country as it is, right, where everyone can look away from this your faulty or flawed electoral act, which ordinarily would play a very, very important role in your charade. But here, let's say it kind of like manages to put a surprise of even beating them more this time. So how do you think they intend to decimate him? Easy, right? So you have Atiku, who is believed to be probably be trying to wield this whatever influence or tap whatever he could get from the northern part of Nigeria, a base that Atiku is kind of like banking on. So, and like Atiku and Obi, they believe that in the south, it is Obi. In the northern part of Nigeria, maybe partly Atiku, but not wholly Atiku. So therefore, if there's anywhere they have to really, grab and control, they will basically be, not for everything, not for all of their 31 states. So it will basically be the areas where they expected APC to win, and then when they expected the OB to probably win. So what does that mean? The eastern part of Nigeria, where their political class currently are putting out this posture that whatever Obi did in 2023 will never happen again. Meanwhile, they don't really have control over that. But there's something they will do, right? Because they may likely not have all it takes to make Obi lose in the eastern part of Nigeria. I'm using that space because use that as a space, right? So their own technical rigging plan is a very much a subtle one. So they will say, let's say Anambra State, for example, Anambra State. Let's say they have 900,000 registered voters, right? So people comes out, everybody out and all that. So definitely Obi is expected to win, Abi. So let's say they now cast, or should I put it this way? Obi scored 550,000, right? Oh, he won Anambra State. But by what margin? What did Atiku score? What did Tinubu score there? So their work is to ensure that not only that Tinubu will have the 25% in that eastern part of Nigeria for the first time. That's the real rigging. It is not the rigging to make sure that Obi lose Anambra, lose Bonyi, because some of you probably think that's how they want to do it. No, they won't do that there. So then they may just say, okay, Tinubu scored 290,000. So that practically means that he's managed to get over 26-27%, Abi. Then they go to Ondo State. They say, but Ondo is APC State. What do you expect? It's also Tinubu's region, Abi. So they will say, okay, in Ondo State, Tinubu scored, APC scored, for example, right, 700,000 votes. And then the next person to him, this time is Peter Obi, for example. They'll say, okay, Peter Obi scored 110,000. Do you see that margin? So what they will ensure is to make sure that, okay, in the areas where Tinubu is expected to leverage, all right, Obi won't get that 25%. Now, that will take a lot of work to overturn that. It will take probably what happened in Osun State in so many areas to overturn that, and that's their plan. So when it now gets to the upper north of Nigeria, where figures are always going to be fictitious, never real, okay? So it's now going to be the game of who could push their numbers through the 40 INEC, and who is INEC going to announce. So technically, you get, but they've just started. For those who are willing to get paid, like be a mannequin for APC, Egbekegbe with 80,000. The boy was standing right there in Abuja.
They pay you.
Wait, how much they pay you?
Fake.
80K. Wait, right now, if I give you 100K, you will keep this thing. You go drop them right now. If I go, you know, carry them again. You sure?
Bros, now, go pay. They pay you.
And you are going to see more of that, more money. A lot of those who are going to be cycling around APC, most of the time anyway. So they are going to be doing so because of whatever enticement, whatever they will give to them. That's what will differentiate them from others. Atiku has money too, but he can't compete with Tinubu or APC. Here you get, but it's kind of like next. So the only group that's not the only group anyway, among others, you have the obedient group, the Kwankwaso group, who won't even actually really need to be motivated with money. I've seen some of them already branding their own cars, getting ready for your 2027 charade. For example, take a look at this guy in, I think it's in Kano, or thereabouts.
They came here searching everywhere for me, wanting to kill me. So they didn't know.
an gama da ita wannan. Ita ma an gama da ita. Yau. Wai ne fa? Tutocin nan? Shi ne karbe su. Tutocin fa na waje. Sosai ma. Yau. Sosai ma wallahi.
Yeah. And there is more. There's even, what's this guy's name again? Oh, Chai. This special advisor to Sowore on drainages, clearing of gutters, as well as being disposal. What's his name again? Remind me.
Onye nkwụchi ụzọ anya kwatuo ege na kwatuo ege wee nwere nne ya pụta ka mara ife nwoge eme na ya pụta ka mara ife nwoge eme onye nkwụchi ụzọ anya kwatuo ege na kwatuo ege wee kwere ịhụ nna ya pụta ka mara ife nwoge eme nne ya pụta ka mara ife nwoge eme gbanyọ onye nkwụchi ụzọ.
Yeah, somebody said it. People said that's a war song in Igbo, that those who are not going to join them will be crushed in 2027, something like that. Joey Bokwe. Okay. Nigeria shittle for real. It's a paragon. Okay. Yeah, Maiyegun Baba. So this Davido thing is inspiring and challenging. See, so how can we reclaim our beloved Ogun State back from these crooks in power with an alternative candidate that we can canvass? If you see any AAC candidates, well, you know something is that the entire system is so crooked. I have tried it before. Sure you get. And I don't know where to start from. Okay. I was having a chat with someone. Who was that again? And it was today. A friend who called me from, from Lagos. So we were having this chat around the politics of Ogun State, how everything now turned out to be. And it was like, Yayi, yeah, the same person that for years, right, there were open information of him not being from Ogun State. Okay, so his own father, who is from Ekiti, was buried in Ekiti. His mother is, who is also, I think they said that one is from Ekpe. She's buried in Ekpe. However, people said no, he's from Yewa, and for goodness sake, right, Yewa in Ogun State, being part of the state, kind of like the trio. We call ourselves Riye in Ogun State, so Remo, Ijebu, Yewa, and Egba. Here you go. So Yewa have never produced the state governor. So there is this sentiment, but almost every 4 years, in the last 20 years, right, they've always been at play. But most of the time, some of their candidates or most of the aspirants usually end up like selling out because they've never had the real political kind of like a mileage to push it, even where the incumbent governors actually pushed some of these Yewa candidates. Then this guy came, Yayi. He's got so much money. And for our people, there's so much for so long they can say no to money, if they ever say no at all. So that makes it almost like impossible to dislodge them. Yeah, coupled with the flawed electoral laws and even their general laws self, right? Yeah. So even if you have to follow any real candidate, you would have to go to that level of competing with them, because our people are not even looking out for the best candidate or anything. It is the candidate that can give them more money. Yeah, food. For real. You have these educated people that somehow, they've lost their minds, they've lost their, So what can you do? And as it stands, right, the only kind of like alternative to them, which is Ladi Adebutu, you can't, in fairness, right, is from Ikperu. So it can't really go on and run when the incumbent guy who just spent 8 years is from the same place that he's also from. So that makes it somehow. So who is going to then be that credible candidate that you sell to the people, even if he's actually a very popular, credible person? People they have become broken, like they are broken beyond what I can really describe. So to rescue Ogun State in courts or anywhere at all, you may have to probably go dark like them and hope that you can regain your senses once you gain that power. That's a gamble, right? It is a big gamble, because it is not the people, right, that does whatever they want to do. It is the system that encourages them to do fuck up, whatever they want to do. So there is no consequences for their actions and all that. And there is some level of dark side you have to move to before they can even entrust you enough to pick up the biggest bit in the pot. So it's crazy. So until the entire system is overhauled, in a way, it's a tough one. Yeah, and also, it is not impossible. Don't get me wrong, it is not impossible. So to take over a state like Ogun State, you have to take it piece by piece. Yeah. The election is so corrupt. The electoral officers are so corrupt. The people themselves are so corrupt. So do you see that? And you can't do any of this. You can't do anything without any of this group. So you have to take it in parts. Out of 27 House of Assembly members, you can take 3 or 4 this election cycle. Keep that 4. Next election cycle, take another 3. Out of 9 House of Representative seats, Federal House of Representatives across the state, take 1 in this election cycle, try to take 2 this election cycle, keep it, take another 1 the next one. So it's going to be like, in that sense, that's how you take the state from them. So they will want to probably partner with you in order for them to keep power. And in that case, right, that's how you gain more ground until you pull the rugs under their feet. You can't fight them with money. You can't fight them with violence, because you can't beat them. And at the same time, you can't bank on the people that you think you want to do all of that for. I'm going to do this for my people. I'm fighting for my people. Nah, don't be daft. Those ones don't want you to fight for them, for real. Okay? Because they don't believe you. They don't trust you. The system has made it so they don't believe you. Here are the NDC guys in their own preparation. They are from Abia, the Abia branch of NDC. get? So everybody is warming up now, state to state. And I kind of like two things, maybe more than two, but I can remember two right now. So two things about the NDC, Obi and Kwankwaso group, and the way they want to approach the 2027 charade. The first one, they claim that they are approaching that election as an election that must be determined and decided at the poll. There is not going to be any court case or anybody going to court or anything. Everything will be settled on your election day. That's kind of like reassuring if they ever did that, okay? Then the second one, they have realized that whether they are popular there or they are not, they will need to actually raise agents that will represent them in the INEX 176,000, is that it, or 176,000 polling units across Nigeria. So you know what that means? It means NDC would need to produce at least minimum of two political party agents that will represent them, not like into one third, no, and the whole 100% of the polling units across Nigeria. That is also reassuring, meaning at least they will not make it easier for whatever grant scheme that APC kind of like a plot, because they always have that. Don't get confused. They always have that. All right. So, and you know that Atiku is a veteran. He's been in this game, in this business for a while, right? So he was speaking to an Hausa journalist who was kind of like questioning him about this, your 2027 charade. And he asked him, what are you going to do if you lose in 2027? Well, Atiku said, well, that's it. If he fails next year, that's it. He will never have to run again. I remember Boko Haram said the same thing. He even cried in 2011. But 4 years later, it was your president, right? This was Atiku.
siyasan nan aka zo dama dai mutum ɗaya ne zai nasara din nan idan Allah ya sanya kai ne kai nasara dama wataƙila haka kake fata idan kuma aka san haka ne za ka sake wata takara a 2031
ai na faɗa na ce daga wannan takarar mutum sa
a tambaya ta ƙarshe saboda kamar yadda muke alƙawari za mu tattauna kai tsaye a minti 30 a kan mutum ya lokacin ka da yawa tambayar ƙarshe da nake so shine wani abu ne da kusan kowa zai so ya ji an sai shafatin ka 'yan ƙasa za su ta ihu a social media a gidan rediyo a gidan talabijin amma ƙarshe sai ka samu da yawa masu da katin zaɓe shin wani sako kake da shi ga waɗanda suke da katin zaɓe a yanzu da za su iya dangwala ƙuri'a da kuma waɗanda ba su da shi wani babban sako za ka ba ta kasan nan don ka tabbatar cewa sun zaɓe
da farko dai bari yi kira da waɗanda suke da katin zaɓe domin kansu yayansu da jikokinsu su fita su zaɓe shi ne mafitar matsalar da suke da shi yanzu bayan sun fita sun yi zaɓe kuma su tsare su raka su tabbatar da yanke za a
ya excellency idan Allah ya baka nasara a shugabancin Najeriya kana da cikakkiyar lafiyar da zaka jagoranci Najeriya a halin da ake ciki
ni ba doktan da ya taɓa cewa ba ni da ma lafiya na je Germany na je Ingila na je Dubai ba
bari da wannan idan bayan da zaɓe
ba ni da diabetes
ya excellency bayan an yi zaɓe ka samu zama shugaban ƙasa ina son inda ranmu da lafiya ba mu irin wannan dama mu zo bayan shekara ɗaya ko kwana 100 ka na farko mu tattauna da kai mu ji me ka tsara akan abubuwan da ka tattauna
za ku gani ko sai kun yi mamaki
za mu tattauna in Allah ya yarda mun gode sosai da lokacin da ka ba mu kuma mun kanmu da muke nan dukan yan jarida wani da kai an kwana yan jarida muna godiya sannan kuma muna fata yan Najeriya su fahimci abubuwa da yawa a cikin wannan tattaunawa saboda haka abinda muke son mu kara da.
So he said Obasanjo has no electoral value and he's just a very jealous old man. So he has no answer for Obasanjo, all of his criticism and all that. But Wike has an answer for Atiku. Wike said Atiku's idea of leading Nigeria is that of a voodoo economist. That Atiku can do jack, whatever he says. You shouldn't take him serious. But you know why, Shasha? Yeah? Wike.
I next guideline. Yesterday, being how the campaign has been lifted, and all the presidential candidates have been up and doing to see that how to convince their supporters. Then one of the leading presidential candidates, Mr. Atiku, who said in 2022 that he's going to remove fuel subsidy in his first 100 days in office, came out to say that if elected, he's going to restore fuel subsidy. As an advocate, a leading advocate of Mr. President, what will you say to that?
I agree with you that Atiku is one of the leading candidates. I agree with you. We have only one leading candidate, and that's the Tinubu. I have told people this week is just election. Why that's so? I'm saying so because we have no position. Which is not merely because parties have presented their candidates. No position is united to say, really, we want to move this up that power. And so, for me, I see that there was no position we came up with than now. And as I say that 2027 is gone. It's gone because we don't have any position that want to wrestle power from the government. Now let me also tell you, and that's why we need to ask ourselves, the integrity and consistency of leadership. For Atiku, who is confused, who has a good economist, Atiku will say anything just to be president. This was a man in 2022 that he was going to remove the fuel subsidy because it was a fraud. Now in 2026, he was not going to remove the fuel subsidy. He's still going back to the fraud, which he has alleged that fuel subsidy was. You know, we should be able to be consistent in what we send to our people. We should know what leadership is all about. Leadership is not you coming and you say one thing now in the morning, in the afternoon, you say a different thing. In the night, you're talking about a different thing. That's not it. If Atiku should be fair, today, under the Petroleum Act, under the Petroleum Industry Act, NNPC can be fully commercialized. It's now a limited liability company. It's no longer the sole importer or producer of fuel. It's not. Unlike what it used to be. Is it going to be fuel subsidy in the Dangote refinery? The fuel produced by Dangote refinery? It's not going to be possible. That people, they simply all I thought you would have argued. Yes, I still believe in the removal of fuel subsidy. And I think that the service made would have been utilized in this way or that way. If that can look at that, okay, it's making a point here. Maybe government have done that, classing this service in this area. But to say one thing in 2022, then in the last 2 years, we are saying, who is misleading who? And that's why I tell you, we Nigerians, we should stop, listening to people just come to the garage. How can you say you want to be president of the country? You can never be consistent. You say what you want, let the people hear. Let them vote me. I just want to be president. Whatever I cook or cook, it doesn't matter. In any case, you won't be. Because Nigerians have done their head does not believe in the survival of this country. The policy taking by Mr. President to go to question And look at what you just said. Look at the savings. And how the money was shared amongst the tiers of government. It now behoves on us to go back to ask our local government, ask our states what we are going to use the fund for. But the Minister of Finance, they might consider it.
Atiku is just a desperate. They are all desperate. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because things will become hotter and hotter, and they will say horrible, horrible things to themselves. Yeah, it's always like that. And somehow, Tinubu and this camp, they might be confident, right, that everything is probably in place. Okay. The opposition have divided themselves, so there's no worry. The fact that they are not together, even if they both score 10 million, they still won't be able to take him out. As long as he's able to manufacture 15, 20 million for himself. Some are already saying that, well, how is that going to happen? Where is he going to get all of that from? You are not following events. The primary election they did in APC, Egbekegbe, announced by them, that brought Tinubu in as their candidate this time, was 11.9 million. That's nearly 12 million. So they practically just implanted that in your minds, in the space, right? That they already have 12 million members of APC in Nigeria. And each state have their numbers of what they call their own members. Do you understand? So all they have to do is to say maybe extra 100,000, extra hundreds of thousands of people also voted for them. And then that makes up an extra few millions plus what they already have. So if they write themselves 18 million, if you do not agree, when I'm okay to announce it, they will tell you to go to court. So primarily, Tinubu is not worried. But what if one candidate comes and just sweep everybody, just like he did in 2023, that forced the hand of the establishment to actually change the rule of the game in the middle of the game? What if he does that again? And this time, they are doing it so ferociously and more determined because most of them now have experience, right? They now understand how rigging works and how powerless they can be when they fail to act in time. Again, so what if? Because I remember in 2022, it's like 4 years ago, I was almost the lone voice, not just me, right? From this part of the universe, right? That continued to say, don't downplay, don't overlook what these guys are pushing, the obedient at the time. Then, boom, they shocked everyone that they became the number one enemy of the establishment. Those who were even supposed to be opposition against the sitting government made them enemies because they became almost like a threat to every known norm, political norm in that contraption. Almost so different, but so similar too, right? Anyway, we have Paulishe. He was talking about the 2026 Ocean decides, and then he had to say something about the 2027 too. To him, it was that guy that kept saying that something had to be done if they don't want Peter Obi to remove Tinubu from power. That somebody like that, if they don't find a way to probably bring him on board and stop his ambition of wanting to be president, he can remove a president. Now he has changed that to Paulishe. That is no longer the case. That the APC, they have invested so much resources in trying to curtail Peter Obi and disobedient movement. And that this time around, whatever kind of like hands that Obi and Obedient, okay, they are called okay now, by the way, Obedient and Kwankwaso, whatever stunt they want to pull, according to Paulishe, Tinubu and his gang are waiting. I have no idea what that means, right? Here, listen. Then he said something about the Osun election too, where, according to him, he believed that not just that APC spent 60 billion, Adeleke family also spent over 40 billion. They also this and that. And in fact, he also believed that the figure recorded for Adeleke, 540 something thousand, he strongly believed that that number is not correct. It's not real. It's fictitious, like it's cooked, especially from Ede. And he would advise the APC to go to court and challenge it. And as for Atiku, he just quickly wave him off with that wave of hand. Atiku can pull it off.
The candidates, your followership teams.
But what's the lesson here for the APC? Because there are other states like Kwara, where the entire aspirants are also against the APC. They've even formed the G15, saying that they're not going to support the APC. Do you think that the ruling party has some lessons to learn?
Naturally. Every constituted leadership must learn from their mistakes. But sometimes, not what we think was the problem was the problem. The fact that the Adelekis had their strength in Ede. Are you telling me picking Alomi Shori will change what happened in Ede? No. That's the reality.
But maybe the margin would have been similar.
Excuse me, I just said it to you. Their delegates are rooted in their hometown. Omishore or APC has no presence. So carrying an Omishore or giving an Omishore denomination, what will it change? Nothing. Because 66,000 votes, 66,000 vote differential, 46,000 from Ede alone. You can't do nothing about it. It's not a function of a candidate. I'm not saying it's the best, I'm not saying the candidate is bad, but in other places they were neck to neck. The chunk of the vote came from Ede. That's it. And in Ede too, there's no denying that it was a free day for them. I'm just giving you my practical perspective.
So the APC, we haven't heard from them. Oyebamiji has not congratulated the governor yet. They said they're looking into the figures. Do you think they should go to court or they should just accept?
I think they should go to court.
Is there anything there for them, really?
Listen. There's a strategy to win. You win with a strategy that is unknown to me. When facts are brought forth, it can be contested. For me, the votes in Ede, the differential in Ede is not the largest community in Osun State. You don't have that kind of thing in Osogbo.
But that's the Adeleke stronger.
I just said that, but I'm talking about the figures.
You think it was rigged?
I believe it was piled. That's what I believe. I'm not saying it's not their stronghold. I believe that they have a reasonable total majority there. But when you look at the vote, and in two local governments, you have a differential 46,000. And that's a lot.
They say President Tinubu is the real winner here, but do you think he will be able to get the aggregate of both numbers that we saw in Osun in 2027?
He will get more. President Tinubu will get more. You see, President Tinubu, that I know, will deal with the two sides separately, at least for his own good. President Tinubu will get more votes in Osun State, because he will deal with the delegates and he will deal with the APC's own party separately. So when everybody has what it takes and they have assurance of the president for their future, they will vote more for it.
Which party are you in now?
I am in PDP.
Still in PDP?
And I remain in PDP.
All right.
You understand? The fact remains, a lot of people get it wrong. Most of the former presidents and leaders in America never supported Trump. You complain. Does it make them not a member of that party? The answer is no. When all fails, leadership rise to take position. For me, who do I support now? Obi says he was going to do one tenure. Would you think that will come to bear after grabbing the power of Nigeria as president? And Atiku is into something already. What are you talking about?
No, they say what we saw in Osun gives the opposition some hope that they can really win.
It has only given them hopelessness. hopelessness. The only thing that can give them hope has gone past, which is they are coming together. They have failed to come together, and they cannot retrieve that back. That is certain. If they can come together, if they had come together, and even look at NDC. You see anybody talking about NDC in the West? Talk about what is that other party? ADC. Who are the people talking about them? In the election, you saw they got only 4,000 votes.
No, they said that they worked with Accord Party.
And let them keep working with somebody else. It's good for them to be working. They say they work with Accord Party, which is good. Let them keep working with somebody else.
All right. Good place to leave it. Former Governor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The candidates.
So that's the permutation according to him, since Adeleke promised to go and work for Tinubu. So they automatically just added Adeleke votes plus that of Oyebamji. And when you add both of them, that is over 900,000 votes. So to them, Tinubu is going to score more than 1 million votes in Osun. So this was Adeleke with him earlier today to go and show Tinubu is a certificate of return. And yeah, but the Osun people are practically saying whatever he is promising Tinubu, it doesn't have it in him to deliver. Osun people will still pretty much decide what they want. Like this guy.
Baba Nurudini Jackson. Am I for your foe? Am I for your foe? I'm a player so near Duoti, there's a Duoti. Olójú tó ṣojú gàdàgbà gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn bàbá tí a ti máa sọ kò lè ní lọ́nà méjì ajé òsì lè rorò kó sójú lé méjì ìbò Ọ̀ṣun state tá a ti dì fún yín jẹta tẹ́ ẹ ti jáwé olúborí ní kọ́lọ́hún ó ṣe kẹjọ permanent tẹ́ ẹ fi parí ìjọba tí ẹ má fi Tinubu lọ́kàn balẹ̀ wípé ìbò Ọ̀ṣun tó jẹ́ presidential election tá a fẹ́ dìjọba ìsìn kẹ́mi lọ́kàn balẹ̀ pé ọmọ Ọ̀ṣun ó dìbò fún irú erékẹ́rẹ́ wo lẹ̀ ṣe fún sẹ́yìn náà ṣé ẹ tó dàgbà tó báyìí ní èjì yín ẹ ṣe làkàyè ni ṣé tí ọba fẹ́ ni ṣé ẹ mọ́ fagídí fẹ́ ni wọ́n kó 16 governor senate president odidi national chairman gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wọ́n kò tì í lọ́rùn ọmọ Ọ̀ṣun ní kọ̀sọ̀ náà ṣé ẹ tí ọba fẹ́ ni ṣé ẹ mọ́ fagídí fẹ́ ni ẹ wá ń ṣe a thanksgiving speech ẹ wá ń sọ fún Tinubu pé tó bá di January 16 ọmọ Ọ̀ṣun ẹ wá mú àlọ́ dìbò fún jẹ́ǹjẹ́ àná iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ tiyín ló mú yín dépò iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ tiyín náà tẹ̀wọ̀n débẹ̀ tó bá ti sẹ́kọ̀tà tó bá di sáàbù ẹ̀ ṣé lè Yorùbá wá jẹ́bi tí wọ́n ti máa gun irú àwọn bàbá tiwa ní kútùpà ẹ̀sìn ni wọ́n gbé gorí ẹ̀sìn lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ẹ̀ sọ̀ pàkọ́nù ṣé ká tó àtẹ̀yìn kùtùpà kẹ́ ẹ tó gbé àlẹ́sìn lẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni kọ́ẹ̀sì agbára yín ọ̀ka Nurudini Jackson gọ́vnọ̀ Adeleke agbára yín ọ̀ka pé kí gbogbo ọmọ Ọ̀ṣun ká dìbò ẹ máàs fún Tinubu agbára yín ọ̀ka ẹ má lọ gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀rẹ́ yín o tí nìkan ni ó dí o.
So sorry if you don't understand Yoruba, okay? So that man was there asking Adeleke that what is wrong with you? You better don't ruin it. You better don't ruin this goodwill that people gave to you. People voted for you based on the fact that they believe you delivered. So what has Tinubu done for them in Osun? That you are promising him that Osun vote is for him. Like, do you even have that power? You don't have that much. You don't have that power. So you better don't go and collect money from Tinubu, because if you collect money from him, you're on your own. No? Because let the people decide how it is going to be. Sounds plausible, yeah? Yeah, maybe. Then you have Atiku's people in Mushin. That's like the mainland of Lagos. But nobody touched them, by the way, right? This was them having their meeting. ADC.
Anybody iṣẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ má sọ pé candidate kan ò pè mí èèyàn kan ò pè mí ẹ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá fi pé èmi assembly mi ò pè ẹ́ sọ fún mi màá pè máa wá bá ẹ lé àwọn èèyàn ti sọ fún mi ò tí wàá rí mi lé mo tẹ̀lọ́ ti bí wọ́n lé so mi ò tóbi jù láti lọ anybody mi ò fi tóbi jù láti anybody sọ̀rọ̀ àtèmi àti ọ̀rọ̀ question gbogbo alájọ́ ń ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ wá ní ọlọ́fà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe agent àti canvasser ẹ̀fọ́ wọlé pẹ̀lú àwọn world coordinators àti zonal coordinators ní zone yìí agent àti canvasser ó ṣe gbogbo mẹ́wàá ní each polling unit lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí so many àwọn èèyàn wa àti forúkọlé and mo lè fẹ́ bẹ̀ àwọn world chairman náà ẹ ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn world coordinators àti zonal coordinators and respective wards and zones iṣẹ́ yìí àjùmọ̀ṣe ni.
Let's work together, the blah. Please don't take it to heart if you are not specially contacted. Please, let's work together. That was a motion of the ADC in Ekwere, a candidate of the ADC in Ekwere, local government area of River State. He is not that lucky because with the Wike is plotting what they called Rainbow Coalition. So Rainbow Coalition in River State means PDP, APC, and any other interested parties should join them. So they will now work together in what won't really be an election, but a selection that will be balanced up enough, like sharing positions, starting from the State House of Assembly seats, the National Assembly seats, and then the governorship seats. So Chinda has been picked as the consensus Rainbow Coalition candidate as governor. So they have also shared how many seats will be allocated to PDP, how many will be allocated to APC in the states, and maybe others too. But this guy of ADC, Atiku's party, had his property burned down because it's like acting outside with the weakest Rainbow Coalition in River State. Is that even like illegal? No, it's not. But for these guys, right, very legal. So take a look.
They came here searching everywhere for me, wanting to kill me. So they didn't know that I don't stay here. This is not my room. They came here. Look at it. This is my 3 apartments. Look at it. Look at the level of damage. We all cannot be a Rainbow Coalition. I don't know why a young man, my father died when I was barely 2-3 years. I don't know, I didn't even see my father. So I don't know why they cannot allow a young boy to grow and salvage River State. We don't want to be a Rainbow Coalition, we have to do our own system. Wike and his people should allow us to breathe. And let me tell you, this cannot detain me. You have only gingered me more to carry on with the affairs of ADC. So if you like, bring down this compound, raise my father from grave. I will not leave it to me and Amechi. The House of Assembly, House of Reps, we will forward and we will vote for them. So what you are doing here is camouflage. Tomorrow, the other commander in Ikwere and Alo should come and burn the remaining parts. He even tried by leaving blocks for me. I'm expecting him to bring down the entire block. So this one is small. And this is showing us that Wike and his group and coalition do not mean well for the River State. How many are buried at something years? You want to kill me and hijack my system. But it cannot work. This is the level of damage done here. My tenant, he lives here with a wife. The second son is barely 4 months old. They do POS. They burnt the house, burnt the cash, burnt the business money. My mother, she was beaten blue black. My grandmother beating blue black. On what grounds? For what? So we are not. This one I'm doing here is rubbish because you cannot stop me. As a matter of fact, I'm holding a meeting here again next week. As a matter of fact, I'm holding an ADC meeting here next week. With this heaven that wants to fall tomorrow should fall today. Make we die go heaven. My name is Isaiah Thomas. I'm the chief whip, Ikwere ADC. I'm also the alternate leader of the party in this world. We don't fear. Young my father compound. So next week I'll hold a meeting here. They should come and the remaining block, they should me and bring it down. And brothers, sympathizing with me. This is the level of love we have in this place. If they don't love me, they won't come here. That's my grandmother. She was beaten at that age. Her room, as she stands now, she does not have a room to sleep. But this one you are doing, is just barbaric. This is my village brothers and sisters everywhere here to comfort me, to tell me sorry for this mayhem. If they don't love me and they don't love AGC, they won't be here. They'll be scared to run away. So I'm here in my compound. I won't go anywhere, and I will still be here. As a matter of fact, I will sleep in this burnt house this night. I will put bed here, sleep here. I will go find student foam. they let whoever I say he or she should lap. We did a meeting here yesterday in the morning. If they knew they are too strong, they would have come in the morning. We were here from 9 down to 2. So if they knew that they are too strong or powerful, they would have come in the morning hours. Then we test the microphone. But you left and came in the night as a thief that you are. You came in the night when men are sleeping. A thief, a thief, a thief. And then led by the hospital commander Alu and the Sese Ikwere Obesiwadu came with his full team here as thieves that they are. To do their name, stole my generator. Look at hungry men following the coalition. If they can't kill me, they can't thief generator. They never eat Gary, stole my generator, stole my bed, my TV. Everything was burnt. Phones, even plates. They're hungry. So please, nobody should be scared. This one is just rubbish. Because this night, my name is Isaac. I will sleep here with this burnt house. Heaven I want to fall tomorrow, to fall today. But this is a reply to them that whatever measure they have used shall be meted upon them. Times 2. Bible will talk herself. Press down, shake up together what and running over. So with whatever measure you have met will be measured to you. So in the same capacity, they're going to reply them in my look at these shares were rented. Look at these shares are rented. Okay, if you're looking for me, what you consign shares where I rent for program? These shares are rented. These shares, look at these shares are rented for the program. That means they came here with knife. So if they shoot, you know, enter, they will use knife kill me. Look at, they even broke the pipe so that when they are burning the place, we see water to quench it. They broke the pipe so that when they are burning this place, we don't see water to quench it. But the message, see, my brother, we are ADC. We are not scared.
So it don't start to. And in the concluded Osun election, 28 people were killed. 28. Some were killed because they said they were the rival court gangs. So, for example, let's say this court group is working for APC, the other court group is working for a court party. So at that point, they started eliminating themselves, plus innocent people, including that 14-year-old boy that was shot and killed. So 2027 charade is not one state, it is 36 states plus Abuja. And right now, a lot of innocent people that are still trying to figure out their lives in this Tinubunomic. They will lose those lives, unfortunately. And that won't even usher in a better government. It won't. The madness will continue. A lot of them will just die in vain. Imagine those who died in 2023, before the 2023 charade, and during the 2023 elections, your charade. I said something like, I think a year ago, I said, man, if those people who fought and shouted, APC must go, and they ended up being killed. But they strongly believe that that was it, APC will be gone. They had a chance of looking back. Maybe all these years, right? They'll be surprised that nothing has changed. That's like almost like dying in vain. People shouldn't be dying because of election, except if an accident happened. I mean, people travel for campaigns and all that. So an accident can happen. People can lose their lives because of that. It's unfortunate, preventable, but of course, unavoidable sometimes, yeah? But when you get killed because of electoral violence, where armed thugs were shooting and the police couldn't really do anything, they know something about the elections, right? By the time, in the next 150 days, not only that they will kill innocent people, kill themselves, hire their thugs, they're also going to kill uniformed men too. Soldiers or police will become victims in their election. It's almost like war, you know? But that was a query in Rivers State. In Delta State, the maize stealer, Ovioma Gege, who is now like a big shot in NDC after he parted ways with the APC, Egbekegbe. So right now, he's letting people realize that, yeah, if you are not on their side, you are likely going to want to downplay them, but it won't, because according to him, without any elected governor, without any elected public officials in Delta State, the obedience came through the state. They swept the state like storm. Yeah. And right now, he strongly believes that they can repeat that same feat with Obi and Kwankwaso. They are called OK. This was from Delta State a few days ago. And then today.
Today, I, Senator Obi and Kwankwaso, also share in that resounding no to that question. And we believe that the only man that can take Nigeria to the next level, for want of a better expression, is Peter Gregory. Our task here in Delta State is very simple: to assist in making the election of Peter Obi as president possible. In 2023, here in Delta State, Peter Obi, without the support of Obi again, without the support of Victor, without the support of a lot of us seated here, and without agents, as we are told, in the various units, and despite the massive rigging, Peter Obi still won Delta State. Our task is simple. Now, in addition to the obedient army, in addition to the Kwankwaso army, in addition to the NTC army, you now have Omo Agege. Victor Oche, and you now have so many of us who are not coming into the fold. If Obi will win without us, how much more with us? We are determined here in Delta to ensure that Obi has more votes than he had in 2020. We are also determined to ensure that we shall follow this vote bumper to bumper. And ensure that these votes are protected.
Yeah. So yeah, they are all getting set. And immediately after the INEC lifted the ban on election campaigns, it was among the first to hit the road. And this was said today in that same Delta. So that was Delta. Meanwhile, those who are the articulators, the articulated morons, the articulated moguls, or if you probably want to fancily call them, the SPV boys, Southeast chapter, have not really been happy with the same Obi. Because according to them, like what the heck? Why would Peter Obi go and sign an agreement, a contract, 4-year contract with Kwankwaso? It has never happened before. I mean, why would he just go there and ridicule the Igbos? Why would he just go there and insult them? That is why they would prefer to just go with Atiku. Atiku seems to be the only man who is... They are Atiku's boys, sure you get. And they were all talking on Twitter space where they called Peter Obi a political vulture, stealing their destiny. I mean, I'm like, some people don't even get shame, like technically, right? Because everybody is trying to protect their own interests. I don't know. You get? Like everybody has their own candidates, their preferences. And somehow that's their prejudice, or their biases, or their sentiments, or whatever you want to call it, about their candidates. Sometimes actually really blind people to be objective. Atiku shouldn't be running for president for many reasons. He shouldn't. And if he is, based on his constitutional rights, if you are a young person from southern part of Nigeria that witnessed the era of Bokwari, yeah, it's unfortunate that APC, Ekbekekbe, remained in power, and you now have something that is worse than Bokwari. Yeah. But you shouldn't be, as a young person, be promoting this archaic octogenarians. Some of them who are already suffering from different illnesses that they are hiding from you, which will become your own responsibility. You should even be tired as a young person of having these old people, right, still be interested in the leadership of that country. As a young person, it should irritate you, right? And somehow it should actually be somehow like insulting to your own intelligence to be like, what? But again, it is their politics. I don't think it works that way. Okay, so listen to this. Tell me how you feel hearing these guys who are meant to be from the southeast of Nigeria, and they are 100% for Atiku and 100% against Obi. This is why.
I agree what should be done, what best thing should be done in the interest of every other person, and just do it. I don't see a reason why. None of them will get any justification from me as a person. Not the guys on Atiku's side, not the guys on P2B side. I'm not saying I'm on Atiku's side in this election because it just makes mathematical sense. All these guys that are parroting P2B, they all know in their heart of hearts that they stand no chance. I mean, I'm privileged to some conversations that are here, and a lot of these guys that are here pushing P2B are simply doing it for Elon Musk's money. And that's the simple truth. They're doing it for Elon Musk's money. They know that if they come out and bash P2B, they will lose engagement. Simple. So they stay in line, make their money for this campaign season. But how does that profit Nigeria? You see them come and say things like they believe it. Most of them don't believe anything they say. Most of them don't believe anything they say. They think that by skewing the narrative, you can change political outcomes. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. There are things that should be on ground. What things do you have on ground? 5 months to the election. What are the things on ground? If you ask them now, the people are the structure. The people are the structure. What are the structures? How do you guys intend to get votes in the north? Kwankwaso, go and check Kwankwaso's history. How many votes did he get in the last election? Like, these are mathematical facts that you can see. Mathematical facts that you can see and make very simple and express decisions. But no, I think we have a problem with mathematics. We conjure numbers that give us excitement. I'm yet to see any obedient, anyone that can show me P2B's path to victory. One. Whenever I ask them that question, they start dilly-dallying, start jumping around, start saying all manner of things that don't make sense. They are just hoping against hope that somehow, if he clears the south, he will be able to clear the north. He cannot get any vote in the north. He will not get votes in the north. Apart from Kano, there is no other place where Obi wants to get votes in the north. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Based on current political realities, there is no place. I know of, I was saying this thing like 3 years ago, that you see whatever effort people put in 2023, many of them will not put that effort again in 2027. They thought I was joking. They said it's a lie. I will double my efforts. I will put in more than I did. But today all of them are coming out. Ochila, I cannot, and my life, I soak in everything 2023. I cannot do it again. Maju Busu, I soak in everything 2023. I have a life to live. When we are telling you then that we should focus on building structures, that time, if we had done that, we are waiting for Obi to call everybody together to build structures. We failed to build structures. Obi, as a useless politician, did not know that he was going to build structures. Obedience did not know that you are going to build structures. You are there bashing yourself, looking for who stole campaign money, looking for just desecrating, destroying everything you guys built in 2023. We use our hand to scatter it. Today, you are hoping that those structures, which structures? Me that worked in Lagos, I can tell you for certain that the campaign in Lagos this time around will be nonsense. Almost everybody that worked with us are not going to work again. I know people follow, not be organized rally, not be organized Lagos rally. The guy that did logistics with me, he's not doing anything. The guys that I can tell you for certain that whatever campaign efforts that happened in Lagos will not happen this time around. Obi will not release money. Campaign go start now. Now I go clear. Not be Thursday night, Thursday to election, we receive campaign materials in Lagos. Thursday to election, now we receive campaign materials. Thursday night, now we receive campaign materials. You guys' campaign will be useless. See, you guys think I'm joking. If you know the effort, obedience put in all over Nigeria to ensure that campaign makes sense at all, you guys will stop. You know that when those kind of people put in those efforts and they leave, nothing is going to happen. I know people that their landlords kicked out because they were supporting P2B. I know people that lost their jobs because they were supporting P2B. The P2B even come back to say, I recognize what these guys did, say thank you. A lot of people are totally disgruntled. They will not put in a padding. They will not risk a cover for P2B again. But you guys don't understand these things. You guys will keep talking, blah, 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 blah. When campaign starts, find a way to be there, make campaign start. Una go understand what I don't they shout things. Una campaign go dry. It go dry. It go dry. Una think, make I see 1 million match. Make una do am. If una get mind, make una do 1 million match. If una get mind, make una go do 1 million. I dey challenge you now. Make una vex. Make una vex. Go do 1 million match again. Make I see. Because they talk. Go be like say we just dey talk. We know wetin we dey talk. All these things don't go happen. If una get mind, go do am. Take my challenge. Go and do it. So, but we are saying these things. People don't understand. They be thinking that we are just angry at P2B. We have genuine reasons to be angry at the man. He had a strong momentum, lost everything, made stupid political decisions, and now he wants the whole Nigeria to pay for it. Or that if he cannot play politics like his mate, he should go and sit down. He should go and sit down. And that is my position. If he cannot play politics like his mate, he should go and sit down and agree what should be.
So what do you make of that? If you listen to all of that, so I'm going to see your comments. What do you make of that? So the guy sounded like a former obedient who, in fact, from the background, by the way, so he's a former obedient who followed Obi to the Atiku's coalition. So when Obi now left the coalition, they stayed back because according to them, Obi has no direction. He could not maintain the momentum. He could not build a structure, and everybody shall have a reason to just say, I'm not doing it again. But can I ask you something? Some of those people who became prominent faces in that obedience movement, did you know any of them at all pre-2022? Me, I've always been on the streets. I've always been everywhere. And I can tell you, right, they were just some ragtag social media users who were irrelevant, inconsequential until after 2022. And somehow, a lot of them built personalities for themselves. They became voices, right, to reckon with when it comes to the social media engagements, conversations, content, and all that. But there's something missing, right? Some said the obedience movement is not organic. Yeah, I've had conspiracy theorists, because a lot of people have done so many researches. Maybe they didn't even do researches per se, but a lot of people have come up with different explanations on how the obedience movement became that massive and shocking after many of them ruled them out as social media noisemakers, right? But there is something organic about them. There is the foundation, right, that somehow spurs them in such a way that if you benefited from the virality of that movement, just be thankful, be grateful that you were eventually part of something that allowed your voice to be heard up there. Sure, you get. You are just part, a piece. You're just like a piece of the whole. So if you are gone, you'll be replaced. The real obedience, they don't even call themselves obedient. Some of them don't even want to be called obedient. Because when we're presented with the options of those who wants to be president of Nigeria, how Peter Obi won them over is what some of you are actually missing. And you don't even know them. You don't. I mean, I'm quite happy that on Maiyegun's diary Politico, we've had some of you who are like a closet obedient. And somehow you've come out to say, well, me, I'm obedient to Maiyegun. Oh, really? I never knew. So you cannot, I'm going to keep saying it too, you can't sit down and then project what they are likely going to be or not to be. It is one kind of like an organic movement that comes from the background of, or should I say, yeah, they're coming from the background of disgruntled, angry, disappointed Nigerians who somehow, they still feel like Nigeria is redeemable. Election could save the place. Do you understand, right? Those are the people that are following Obi. It doesn't know them. He has no control over them. But suddenly ascribing this massive importance to yourselves, right? And I actually believe that that is done to Obi alone. I don't see people who are like with Atiku come out to, bombard him with, he's not calling them, he's not coming to appreciate them. How many of us did he call? How many of us? Meanwhile, the real thing is that a lot of them felt like Peter will be sharing 10 million, 15 million, 30 million, 20 million, all this money, hoping that that is what will make him win election. Because remember, they've somehow become politicians themselves, right? So why not just release the money to those of us who are doing everything, using our money? Why not give the money to us so that we can work more, we can get more people, That's how people play politics. You don't go about and be sharing the money, creating content. You should give the money to us. That is how to win. Since you won't give them the money, somehow they feel like they are not being recognized enough for trying to make him president. They can tell you will never be president. Listen to this one.
That's where Obi belongs. That's his level. He's on the level of Sowore. He's not saying anything.
You go sign contract with Kwankwaso to do one thing.
With Kwankwaso, where do you deliver to his own ambition? His own
Nah, iya kana agbagodu mara. Ifutara ifura Atiku Abubakar he ga sign the contract with.
You go sign contract with Kwankwaso.
Oburu
Kwankwaso. Desperate politician. Very desperate.
Nah.
The height of desperation. That never happened before for this country. Say person sign contracts with a running mate on how they go take share power. They don't mortgage Nigeria now. They don't mortgage Nigeria. It's not about the people again, a power sharing formula. Manam, Obi
Obi condemn with the return by third.
So he signed agreement of turn by turn, even before they start. Oh, turn by turn agreement now. He condemned Tinubu for saying it is my turn. But he signed
Exactly.
agreement with
Turn by turn.
somebody
After
of
him,
turn by turn.
Kwankwaso.
With Kwankwaso.
Nigeria is now like power presidency is now by power sharing formula. Him and Kwankwaso.
Him and his friends. So they are
Him and
sharing
his friend.
Nigeria
Him and his cronies.
and his cronies. That is what they have reduced us to, where they sit down in their sitting room with
Sitting
them
room,
and they share and work the country to their taste. Nah, I got to get careful. Can't let that thing happen. Cannot.
You did not see an Atiku Abubakar. You did not see David Mark. You did not see people that know their whereabouts in the country to sign contract with. He's a Kwankwaso, a local champion.
I am not in support of the signing of contract. Why are you signing? Why are you balkanizing the country? Like as who? That is height of impunity. That you will sit down in your sitting room and decide my fate, decide my destiny. Do you know what I want Kwankwaso to be president of Nigeria? And then you have an agreement with Kwankwaso that after me it is you. Ona na bicycle hire. What are you talking? Oh, yeah, woman, I onye lara onye ibi olara. So when I stop that,
that's where Obi belongs.
So they are really upset. But you know something, right? It's crazy, okay? They are cool if Peter Obi signed a contract with Atiku to be Atiku's vice president. Yeah. They said for the Igbos to become the president of Nigeria. That's their own argument, too. If you see any of those Igbos who are openly against Obi, there are two. The first one are those ones led by Devulu Mayi, Oplesu Zotingba, Solu Dombofe, Anambra, and who else? Because to them, Peter Obi declaring that he wants to be president of Nigeria without their blessing is an affront. It is an abomination because that ambition of Peter Obi to be president of Nigeria is not blessed by them. And because they didn't bless that ambition, it is against the wish of the Igbos. And if Peter Obi is not stopped, he is going to make it difficult for the Igbos to lead Nigeria. That is their own theory. So therefore, they will do everything to sabotage him. You know? So who else? The second set are those who are the Atiku looters. Their own theory is that if the Igbos are to become president of Nigeria, so Atiku Abubakar is the best way for Igbos to be president in Nigeria. And this arrangement, that is, let Atiku be president first, and you, Obi, be his vice. So when Atiku finish, it will be you next. So they are okay with that. But that, okay, let Igbo man be president first. And then the North, Hausa or whatever, be president next. No, that's against Igbo. He has no pathway to becoming president of Nigeria with Kwankwaso. But mathematically, right, he's actually the one who has the chance to defeat Tinubu, not Atiku. I mean, yeah, he's the one who has the chance. So he got 6 million or 6.1 or so million. That's what they gave him. The Obedient believes that he got more than 10 million votes. Okay, officially they gave him 6.1, right? Kwankwaso got 1.2. No, sorry, I think is it 1.4 or 1.2? Let's say 1.2 million. Okay, he won just one state. So 1.2 million plus 6.1 million, that is a 7.3 million. That automatically means going to your 2027 election from your 2023 elections, it seemed that Obi and Kwankwaso are the only people who succeeded in creating a coalition. I mean, think about it. Okay. So Atiku, Tinubu, Obi, Kwankwaso, those were the four major guys who recorded over 1 million votes in 2023. And 4 of them are also in this your 2027 elections. Tinubu got how many millions? 8 point something million, 8.7 or so. That's what they gave him. Atiku got 6.8 or 6.9 million or so, right? That's what they gave Atiku. Then Peter Obi, they gave him 6.1 or what? Kwankwaso 1.2 or 1.3. So all of them are participating in 2027. So let's assume, say, officially, Tinubu is walking into your 2027 with 8 point something million. Atiku is walking in with 6.8 million. So Obi and Kwankwaso, they are walking in with 7.4 million. So in that sense, right, the only person who is closer to giving Tinubu a run for his money, statistically, is the NDC. Right? But they will tell you that's not how politics work. For those who have become experts on Niger politics, but they saw that same Kwankwaso and Kim Jong-un, which is Dixon, their leader, this afternoon.
No, look.
How are you? Okay, Mohammed. How are you?
So, yeah, they were all gearing up, getting ready. And it seemed, except they get surprised, they are all almost ready. Those who didn't make their list of candidates, right? They figured it out, and some of them are already finding their way out of every party where their names have been dropped. So it's almost like all cooking, choking. So Tinubu and his gang are also using the occasion of they've lifted our campaign ban. So let's start with what we've done, especially the most asked question. What have they done with the subsidy money? So they sent the finance minister, Taiwo Yedele, and many others too, to go and address the press and tell you about how, the achievements of Tinubu's reform, especially under your subsidy, what they've done with it, how much they've realized, how much they've shared. And then the subsidy savings, they call it, is being spent on funding NEL fund. Subsidy money is also helping to give more money to the states and all that. Well, technically, that may be true, because if they claim, right, that they are not officially paying fuel subsidy, even though they are paying fuel subsidy, all right, unofficially. So if they say they are not, then that simply means that you should have more money. But that's technically also not true. Technically true, technically not. But let's say technically true in the sense that it should give you more money in states, Abi, and they're getting more money. But it is technically not true, because the value of the money they are getting, they call more money, is actually far less than what they are getting, even when Nigeria was paying subsidy. Economics. Yeah. So Nigeria money got devalued so bad, right, that a state in Nigeria that used to probably get 4 billion naira as a monthly allocation, plus local government, the state, and every other subvention they gives to them, right? That state now collects 16 billion, 18 billion, but in value, right? Because, you can use the dollar value, because their money mostly comes from, according to them, if it's not borrowed, it comes from the crude oil sales. Okay, so then you compare and be like, okay, when they were getting 4 billion naira, what was the exchange rate? And when they are not, when they are getting more now, what's the exchange rate? So you realize that the value has dropped. It's more money on paper, And that is all the Tinubu and his guys, that's what they mean. I mean, they need. So if states get more money, which they do according to them, and they are no longer borrowing money to pay salaries, which that in itself is not completely true. Out of 36 states in Nigeria, plus Abuja that promised minimum way to pay minimum wage, it's been almost a year now. Is it? Yeah. It's been like almost a year or probably over a year since they announced this minimum wage out of 36 states. 30 of them have not paid a dime on this most talked about minimum wage of 70,000 naira. They still have a lot of them paying 30,000 naira and even less in Nigeria. So the implementation is not even like universal to start with, okay? But on paper, okay, they are not borrowing money to pay salaries anymore. Oh, they're not borrowing money to pay this or that. So that means stop asking about the subsidy money, because that is subsidy money. Or I kind of would like to digress a bit myself, you know, just looking at the figures. According to Yedele, he said they have shared in excess of 15 trillion naira that should have been money they realized from not paying subsidy on fuel, plus other money they've shared in the last 3 years. And from that 15 trillion, the federal government, which is the Tinubu's arm, they got 5.4 trillion. And the states and the local government areas, they collected over 10 trillion naira. Now, that is something. Nigeria is swimming in corruption and poverty. People are everywhere telling us that things have become so unbearable. Do you get what I mean? Like things have become unbearably so difficult. People are dying from hunger. Yeah, starvation, inability to pay their bills, and so on. So if we are holding Tinubu, maybe people should, not maybe, you should actually be holding those criminals called governors too. And I mean, hold them, play with the numbers, get mad. You know what I mean? Just same way you probably will look at the entire messed up Nigeria and be like, ah man, Tinubu is a disaster. Or you have 36 other disasters masquerading as state governors. You do have some of them that you feel like they are doing fine, at least, yeah? But if you have that kind of money being pumped into states, local government areas, most of those communities shouldn't be looking like war-torn areas. You know what I mean? So the corruption at the national level cascaded that of the state. But if you put the state, that of the state all together, well, there lies the devil. Think about that. Because I've been thinking about this when I watched this is, what do you call it, briefing this afternoon.
For the past 3 years, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, DCFR, has embarked on major reforms to address age-long economic challenges. The removal of a fuel subsidy that was quietly bankrupting the country, and the unification of an exchange rate system that had become a source of arbitrage, distortion, and corruption rather than stability. Those decisions came at a real cost, and we're not here to pretend otherwise. Prices rose. The naira adjusted sharply. Households and businesses felt it, and many still do. What we want to do today is put the whole picture in front of you, the Nigerian people. What those reforms cost, what they delivered, and just as importantly, what they prevented. We're calling this the Nigeria's Reform Scorecard. and it is built to be read honestly, regardless of whether you agree with the reforms. The first is a full account of how the resources were raised and spent. The second sets out, in plain terms, 10 ways these reforms have benefited average Nigerians and 10 harms they prevented. The third is the scorecard itself, 25 indicators comparing where we are with the reforms to where we would have been without them. This is what economists call counterfactual. And the fourth is an appendix with the underlying figures so that anyone, you, your editors, independent analysts, can check our arithmetic and our methodology rather than simply take our word for it.
When people will begin to go to jail after Tinubu, that guy is going to go to jail. Okay? But don't ask me how yet. All right? So they have mastered rolling out or doling out all these fake modeled figures because you have nowhere else to go and confirm the real thing. They are the only source. And since they have micromanaged this data, right? And they push them at that high level. You can't counter it, except you have to do your own other researches based on whatever figure they put out there. You can use that to counter them. But in this case, the people are countering them. All this big grammar, all this talk, all this, you know what I mean? Even explaining away why people are not feeling it. Then on the other hand, you are saying, no, they are feeling it. It's just that maybe they don't understand what they are feeling. For example, they have a 1.5 million students in Nigeria that are collecting student loan, NEL fund, and they are also collecting stipends, money to spend. Then you have parents who are asking questions like, how come my own children are not getting it? But listen to what they said. They have used the saved subsidy money. They are not saving. There's no saved subsidy money. Okay? I don't know how to say that to you. There is nothing called saved subsidy money. All right? All those figures, all those talks, they are just talks. When they lose power, for example, and an interested government decided to actually look into all these books, then they will probably, even if Tinubu is dead, they would have to exhume his bones, right? And make him stand trial for what they have done to Nigeria, including that of Buhari. And it is not just Tinubu, these are the guys, the mechanics of the economy, who are telling you that whatever you are feeling right now, if you're not feeling it, okay, it is simply because you don't understand a lot that they have done for you. But you do understand a lot they've taken from you, right? Now listen to what you have to say about how they spent your subsidy money, how they shared it. And then you can possibly start looking every other way, right? Somebody said their local government autonomy is not working because there is nothing called local government autonomy. Nothing. They used what they call the presidential proclamation. And after that, Fagbewon, his own minister of injustice, went to court, right? By instituting a case against the FAC account, the guys who are in charge of that, right? That the local government autonomy, where the local government will be paid their own allocations directly, not to the states. And the Supreme Court ruled that it is illegal for the federal government to be paying the local government money to the states. That's what their Supreme Court ruled, February 2024. That was 2 years ago, nearly 3 years now. And they went into town. Local government autonomy. See, especially this local government autonomy that Tinubu just did. But guess what? Instead of them implementing the Supreme Court judgment, they couldn't. They need to change the constitution. And changing the constitution requires the state governors, who are those who are collecting these allocations, local government to and state to. Here you get, it requires their cooperation. So what that simply means is that Tinubu's idea is to ask their piggy bank, because local government money is like a piggy bank for the state governors across Nigeria. Do you get that now? So the money will come to them. They will now decide how much they will give to each local government areas. And that's why you go to all your local government areas, they have no real, they have no good roads, no good medical centers, no electricity, no nothing per se. And you are like, oh my God, look at this place. It's been like this for the past 20 years. Then when you open the book and you see, my local government received 480 billion naira in the last 20 years. Where is the money? What happened to it? Successive governors have shared the money. So Tinubu's local government autonomy, rather than for them to implement the Supreme Court judgments, they went into an arrangement with the state governors, who now said they would sit together and work out a modality, a transition from how the money will now be paid to the local government, ignoring Supreme Court, ignoring the National Assembly when they are doing local government, when they are doing the constitutional amendments. You remember that time? They didn't touch local government autonomy. They did not. But in the news, there is local government autonomy. Tinubu don't do local government autonomy. For the past 2.5 years, the state governors, they continue to receive the local government allocations. All of them. All of it. But it is APC. They don't want this fact. They don't want you to say this. To them, it's that Tinubu's fault. It is. Why did you go to court? If you had no determination to see it through. Why? Or for political gimmicks. So they're going to use that for their 2027 charade campaign. And you're going to hear them say it with pride. So tell us, what did you do with this subsidy money? Oyedele?
Out of these 15.8 trillion naira savings from June 2023 to December 2025, according to the Federation account, the share of the federal government was 5.4 trillion naira, while 10.4 trillion was shared to states and local governments. Okay. In addition, the federal government earned incremental independent revenue in the sum of 3.1 trillion naira, principally remittances from government-owned entities. Okay, in addition to the amount from FAC, the federal government is able to also earn surpluses from government agencies. So those amounts went up. While 11.9 trillion came from incremental borrowing. So people will say, you said you have exceeded your revenue. Why are you still borrowing? And we'll come to that. So the additional borrowing that the federal government took for that period of time, June 23 to December 25, amounted to 11.9 trillion naira. A figure that would have been far higher and economically destabilizing without the fiscal space the reforms created. Okay, right. So, altogether, the federal government's incremental resources over the period, remember, subsidy savings, independent revenue, and incremental borrowing, came to 20.4 trillion naira. That money did not sit idle. It partly funded incremental expenses. Okay? For that same period, the incremental expenses of the federal government alone, not the federation, was 30.64 trillion naira. Of these, 9.39 trillion went to wage adjustments, minimum wage increases, and allowances for public servants. And I think this is a point that it should be of interest to everyone. The incremental amount that the federal government spends paying higher wages is more than the entire savings that the federal government earned from subsidy removal. Then we have 9.37 trillion that went to external debt service, made necessary by exchange rate depreciation. So if we were paying $1 million before in interest on our foreign debts, it is still the same $1 million, but instead of 460 naira, it's now 1415. That's more naira that we need to incur. And I've said this before, when you have debt service to pay, you don't negotiate, you don't delay, you pay. Because delay or default have consequences. And there's 6.5 trillion that went into strategic infrastructure, making the top 3 expenditure lines. Every naira of this is accounted for, and the breakdown is in the scorecard we are releasing today. So you find the breakdown. It is instructive that the single largest expenditure line, wage adjustments, at 9.39 trillion outstrip the federal government's entire saving from subsidy removal. This is evidence that the reform was never introduced for revenue purposes, but to address entrenched corruption in an artificially managed fuel subsidy and foreign exchange markets. Put another way, of the 20.4 trillion, 58% came from borrowing, 27% from subsidy savings, and 15% from other revenue, against total incremental spending of 30.64 trillion naira. 2/3 was funded by these new resources, while the remaining third, about 10 trillion naira, came from the existing revenue base, despite ending the excessive printing of naira. That in itself is evidence of improved public financial management. So a government that says we'll no longer print money, they're spending more just on personnel costs than the savings from subsidy removal. And we're able to still find the balance from the existing revenue base. This is data showing us that public financial management.
I don't know, maybe because we are now grown-ups, and you can easily see through the BS of these guys, the bullshit. All of that talk, if you relax like I did, to actually listen and be comparing, I'm going to break it down so that you can understand all the old word salad, the jargons he put together, and how come, despite all of that, how come it's not reflecting in the lives of the people of the country? Because it is not true. It's all lies. These are the figures these guys, flaunt about. But if you try to dig deeper, right, they will do everything to block you. And if you manage to see anything at all, then you are likely going to be called the enemy of the state, who is trying to incite the people. But let's use their own words against them. According to him, he started with what they did with the 15.8 trillion naira. This was the money supposedly saved from subsidy removal in 3 years. June 2023 to December, in 2 years or 2.5 years to December 2025. And according to him, right, they shared 5.4 trillion and gave that to the federal government, and another 10.4 trillion to the states and the local governments area. Then I went on to say the subsidy money was used in funding, rather in now smuggled in other funding, which is part of the problems which people have been pointing out, that Tinubu has borrowed equivalent of what Obasanjo, Yaradua, Jonathan, including Bokuario, all of their loans combined, left behind. Kolu has borrowed over that in 3 years. And therefore, they have to service the loan. How do you then service a loan? By borrowing to service loan. But on the other hand, you are praising yourself that your account, kind of like a guru or smartness, whatever, has created this extra funding or extra funds that now goes to the state for development, for other things that people are not actually seeing to start with. Okay? So, incremental borrowing. And suddenly, they had this another 20 trillion naira. That when they added the whole thing together, it was saying something about a 39 or so trillion naira. And then how did they spend it? Or they used this percentage to service the debt. They were borrowing money. Because remember, they've shared subsidy money. So it's no longer part of the money they spent anywhere else. They've shared it. Right? Except if Tinubu used part of his own share, okay, to fund and others. Or from his own statements, they had to borrow. Okay, they just had to. The reason why they are paying more now is because Nigerian naira has been devalued. Who devalued Nigerian naira? Tinubu. So when he said, oh, you know what? It's not like we are paying more. We are servicing the debt of Nigeria with more now. No. What really happened was that when we took out these loans, Nigeria exchange rate was 460 naira to $1. But now it is 1,400 naira to $1. So if you are paying 460 million naira back, let's say you are paying $1 million back to service your debt. And that's not how much they are paying, by example. So $1 million every year, I think. I don't know if that's actually every month, but let's say every year, and your exchange rate is 460 naira. So that means 460 million naira. That would pay $1 million 3 years ago. But today, to pay back that same $1 million a year will now cost you 1.4 billion naira. That is times 3.5 or 3.7. Yeah? That is the devaluation they did. That is what Nigerians are battling with. It is not just that it caused inflation. The devaluation caused hyperinflation. At a point, you would think, well, they are still saying it. They said, if Tinubu didn't do what he did, by now you should have been buying a liter of petroleum for 3,500 naira per liter. People in government are saying that to Nigerians. Like whatever it is that you have right now, it could have been worse. So you should be grateful. Yeah, they are saying that to them. So your subsidy money was shared. And they had to borrow money, right, to fund everything else. But there's another factor that he practically just kind of like mentioned in a pedestrian way, right? Because according to him, Nigerians have become poorer. Yeah. And therefore, you cannot tax poverty. You can't. Oyedele developed a tax reform that, according to him, removed the poorest Nigerians from paying taxes. But that is not true in practice. But again, he believed that. But sadly, they've started implementing the new tax law from the 1st of January of this year. People have actually started facing the challenges of supposed single taxation, now multiple taxation. And, it's crazy. They are dealing with that. But despite all of that, Baba, they still could only meet about 30% of their targets. People don't have money to pay. Businesses are folding up. They know that. So they are not meeting their expected revenue target. The expected revenue target includes what they expected to gain back from taxation. Those are the plan. I mean, that was the plan. So that's not working out. Wale Edun tried and tried and tried. So by 2025, it basically came out and said Nigeria cannot survive on just borrowing, referring to their own same government. A few months after that, he was removed as Minister of Finance. Then they brought this dummy who is now reading like a lecturer, these motivational speakers, trying to tell you about how your economy is working now. This whole thing is like, it is like having $1 million. No, it's not. You are not being truthful, not being honest. But guess what? They are very confident that their data is accurate. Bring any other data. They have a chance of trashing it by saying no. Because they know the original data. They're hiding it. So, well, like I said, they are doing everything right now to showcase what Kolu is doing in order to convince you that no matter what happened, it needs to complete this reform. Like Devolumai and his own roadwork and drama. They call Obi content creator. I think one big lousy content creator in Tinubu's regime, there are many, is this Devolumai, okay? And his road construction.
So you don't have problem with reinforcement? No. You can, if you go back, you can see we've already pre-packed the iron rod. So when are you concreting again? We are priming. If the prime still comes today, I'm still gonna prime because from here we've got 1 kilometer ready, and then we are preparing another 1 kilometer. We've already pre-shaped, stabilized. We're busy stabilizing another kilometer, and the next prime for the next 1 kilometer is on Tuesday. Yeah, but I want you to. Because when you reach your yard is how many kilometers? From it's 27 kilometers. So it's when you reach 27 before you start going back. Yeah, but this back, if there is accident, I will hold you responsible. Because you need to go and clean it. And then if it is stone base with cement, you need to do. Because there's so much dust. So much dust. And then you need to open this road. But for you to open it, you have to do some laterite by the side of this thing. Do you know why? Yes. Well, the trucks will climb down, yes. Yeah. So we've done it's only the first 2 kilometers we have to remove those irons and then we will close that section. But from 9-7:30, we've already done about 3 kilometers. So we've filled up the shoulders. Yeah. You have to, so that trucks can. And any day, the Monday that there is no work, I will stop the project. Any other day there is no work on Monday, I will shut down the project. Whatever thing you need, get my number, you let me know, I will do it. Because the general is not doing his work. No, you're not doing it. I don't like when somebody is giving work. I'm working. So nobody should get paid if it's not working. You're supposed to be on this project with your men. Where are your men? You're supposed to be. I planned something and I gave you a job and you are not doing it. If the person let it be my father or mother, I don't care. The work has to be done by the people that are earning, to do the work. So, General, any of the sites there is no work on Monday. Yes, sir. Both you and the site will become history. Yes, sir. Finish. Okay? There must be work on Monday. Yes, and I'm going to tell your people, I don't want this start and stop. Only 6 kilometers is done. That's not good for us. So open the road so that they can start it. Yes, but the quality is very good. Thank you, sir. Is that okay?
It goes everywhere with where these guys are working, right? So it goes everywhere with his camera and acts like he's walking. and all of this he knows. The social media will feed on them, and eventually those around the call, they will also have them. So he used the occasion to reassure Tinubu of how the eastern part of Nigeria would never let him down in 2027 for all he's been doing for them. But the people of Edo State, they will disagree, because a lot of them are saying, apart from the time their governor went to Osun State to go and meddle in their politics and wanted to install an APC as 2G as governor, just like himself, Okoye. So they started the challenge of showcasing the state of Edo roads, including the federal roads too. Maybe now that election is coming, right? Maybe they will do something, but they won't. I mean, you should know that, okay? So a lot of them are already using the state of other roads, major roads in Nigeria. They are terrible states as we speak. They are using that now to question the mentality of those running Nigeria to expend over $12 billion on a new road when the old ones are pure death traps. Take a look at Agbo Road between yesterday and today, and what people there are saying. This is Agbo Beni in Edo.
The Allah Edo is shining. The guy Akma. Governor will get Akma, 2 Akma. Edo is shining. When I see Edo to the shine. Edo is shining. The governor of the state, he puts with me put for us for center of Tar Road. Edo is shining. That's when they sweep. This one is Agbo Road, Agbo Road. Yeah, Edo is shining for Agbo Road. Edo is shining for Agbo Road. Edo is shining. Recorder. At the recorder, my brother. Edo is shining. Senator Governor Mode Okwebolo. Yeah, he don't cash out. That's why your business don't come meet for you. Edo is shining. Edo is shining. See our road. See our road. Edo is shining. They don't block her now. Now, me want to see what the governor want to do. Governor come and say, I dare you as a governor. Anything you want to tell me. I try for the state. I do fly over, I block them. Me anybody know it. I don't try. I carry company where no get name come, they can't do road. I don't try. I do road. I push with impo. I don't try. Better swimming pool. Now I put for road. That time when Lucky Bine the other, they send a lucky stone until they do road. Ogamona see Okwebolo stone. See Okwebolo stone and full ground. When Lucky Bine the other, there's not lucky stone until they do road. See Okwebolo stone. See for Tar Road, Federal Government Road. They come out for here, go Osun State, go the Allah. We will cover up. We will cover up your state, idiot. Cover your state. See road for your state. Say Edo is shining. Edo is shining. Should me put for center of Tar Road, Edo is shining. Center of Tar Road, the push me put the Allah, Edo is shining. Okwebolo. Go see bypass, it don't block. Everywhere don't block, Edo is shining in our own state. Edo is shining. Only one flyover now he do it block and they know they enter, they know they pass on. He said people they go they snap picture. Edo is shining. Now let light, remember they can put only light.
More we dey live at Agbo Road bypass, so no going, no come again. Edo is shining. I don't know shine reach this side though. I don't know shine reach this side at all. If I go try and call this and cut off that thing, or trash and turn around. I'm the last of while. I really are close. I don't know shine reach this side at all. No going, no coming. Just spend like 4 hours for here now.
APC, we know they collect money. We don't do those for us. Gabi don't pack my motor for 6 many months. Let me come inside. Every day they go and carry APC, we know they collect money. Every day we do like a road, every day. We don't do our road for us. Tinubu, we don't need money. We don't do our road for us. APC, we don't need money. We don't do our road for us. Comment for the people, by the people, and for the people. We don't do our road for us. Wallah.
Yes, from yesterday till now, all this vehicle never move. More trailer drivers, they suffer for this Agbo road. Oh, Jesus, see. Kai, Agbo road. Trailer drivers, man. All this one since how many days now that their wife and family now go see maybe they don't want to come out. They don't know see me, they don't stuck here. See, this one are from Adouan to Agboro bypass, no road.
APC, Egbekegbe. So the argument is that why leave the major highway, busiest highways across the country, why leave them in that sorry state and then expending so much money on new project, new roads? But of course, they said it is a Tinubu's legacy they are trying to build. So what happened to this kind of legacy? When people have to lose their lives, their means of livelihoods, simply because you are applying Nigerian roads. The risk is so much. Watch this.
See the press market with this, so see am. Just video ram. Video ram all 50 plus, see people they come. Video them. If we talk now, they're going to tell us rubbish, see. Now to go there, they go do campaign and say no send them. To fix road, I don't know if it fix, they say they do coastal road. Coastal road they do, it don't make sense. Video this man and see so. Video ram. Imagine. Video ram make they see. Video ram make they see. Video this see. Video the gospel make they see. What do you know send them? How they will go to do? They thought say they will go do this thing. Come on tomorrow and fix road for us. I don't want fix road for us. We are going to carry fly. They go. All these APC people, more than don't something I don't do to fix road and I don't fix road. We are talking about they go to coastal road don't exist. 15 trillion naira, where the money they go? If we carry all those road, money do this road now. This road don't go good. Bros, this road don't go good. This road go good. See, come, how much be this one? What? Millions of naira. See people markets. I want to buruku. Okpobolo, now here you pass Goshu State, oh. Now here you pass Goshu State. You go pass and come back again. I wish that today they come back when you can see. Your state no road, straight to now they do. I better call that for me, Jare.
You know, it is what it is. And you hear a lot of money here. Oh, trillion. Where is the money? That's the question. You have heard several announcements like a salary increase, even for the army, the pensioners and the rest of them, but they are not seeing the money. They are not seeing it. So something happened earlier as well, where the pensioners who are like the retired military officers had to stage a protest to see why After Tinubu announced a year ago that their pension or salary, whatever it is, has been increased. So how come the increment is not in effect? That some of them have no money to even take care of themselves. One of them actually said, today is the best day to buy.
No. You cannot stop me. You cannot. We are not talking about that. We are doing the process. We are working for you people. We are working for we can't be mad in our country. Today is a good day to die. Today is a good day to die. Wait. Go and call those soldiers. Today is a good day to die. Listen. Let's go. We are not working with Kagani. We are not working with them. That is the first step. Please, can you call somebody? Can you call somebody from there? So that we can go. We are looking for negotiations and we are calling for. Let us understand why we are placed in this condition. When I was pressing bullets and bombs in the jungles and swamps of Liberia and Sierra Leone, I didn't scare of bullets and bombs. So who is scaring me? Nobody is firing. It's a good day to die. Nobody is firing anybody. That's place.
A situation with that too. That is the situation. People are hearing about all these pronouncements, these announcements, and all that, and they are wondering, how come it's taking so long? If you guys have not really figured it out, why make those announcements? Some of them cannot afford their medication. They can't pay for their own hospital bills. And they put their lives on the line for Nigeria. You know what they say? The political class are having all of the goodies, and they're only sharing it with those they want to share it with. So where is the money? I don't know. Rhetorical, right? I think you should listen to this.
Jesus courageously and happily went into Jerusalem to embrace his mission and his destiny, because the hour had come. Now the hour has come for all Christians and all persons of goodwill in Nigeria to stand up, walk into the society and the various aspects of governance and life in Nigeria, and embrace our mission and our destiny for a better Nigeria. We should not allow ourselves to be led sheepishly by some selfish, bigoted, corrupt, religious and political leaders who will ignore our wish and impose on us injustice and perpetration of corruption. While we are preparing for election, let us all rise, register to vote, come out to vote, protect our votes, and choose our leaders. These evil men are now busy meeting, and they are already planning which Barabbas, a corrupt thief like themselves, to impose on us through INEC pilot. We must resist this. We want an honest, hard-working Nigerian who has shown capacity for governance and transparency, irrespective of where he is coming from, and support him to lead us. We reject Barabbas. We choose Jesus. We reject corrupt leaders. We choose honest men and women. This is the time. Whether there are caucuses or caucuses or caucuses, and whether there are stakeholders, we know there are corrupt, selfish, evil men. Most of them. If you say you are not one of them, and you find yourself there, be a Joseph of Arimathea and speak out. Nigerians have suffered enough. We have suffered enough. And the time for real change is now. Our destiny is in our hands. And nobody can claim or pretend not to be concerned. God is still with us. He needs us to go into the city. He needs us to go into the streets. He needs us to transform our lives.
Hi, right. So yeah, they are getting involved. The Catholic Council of Nigeria, I think that's what they are called, or Catholic Council, no, Catholic Council. I don't know, but yeah. So they are getting involved, and this time around, they are also not just, it's not just them. So you have some of these pro-Muslim tickets of 2023 also making videos of how the economy has shown them now that the Muslim ticket is not even in their own interest. So a lot of that development everywhere. So it's up to you. For those of you who believe in their election, sure you get. So it's up to you. And now you deal with them in 2027. But they are encouraging you to do something or else. I don't know. So that was there 11 years ago. Edo governor at the time, Oshiomole, on record. This is like a throwback though, right?
Today they're asking you to pay what they call fees charge for electricity. When they give you darkness, they collect money from you. When they came to power in 1999, kerosene was 16 naira, diesel was 18 naira, petrol was 20 naira. Today as we speak, the poor Ibadan woman is paying 150 naira because PDP even exploit the poor. Enough is enough. On February 14, my brother, my own brother, the president, we will escort him to his village. And we will bring Buhari to the villa so that Nigeria can move again. Enough of a leader who does not know the difference between day and night.
Devil, they overwork. Or these guys, they overwork. Even more than the devil. So today they are gaslighting Nigerians who dare to complain. Things are tough, things are hard. They gaslight them, brutalize them, and then blackmail them if they have to. You know what I mean? Because according to them, this is the best Nigeria has ever been since Nigeria's creation. And you have to start telling yourselves that. If you don't, then you are considered as enemy of Nigeria, according to these guys. Shameless people, but they have their enablers, Nigerians. Yeah? Anyway, the bishop said something about the Joseph that can confront these monsters. But there is one that is already acting in that manner, but just didn't have the mileage to give these guys a run for their money. is Sowore.
Accord should shake hands with Action Alliance. Action Democratic Party should embrace the Action People's Party.
No, I don't want to hug you. I don't want to hug APC. Nah, bribery. Nah, big hug. Nah, big hug, yo. Thank you.
The Democratic Leadership Alliance ZLA and shake hands with them. Oh yes, exactly. So please let us ensure that we shake hands, embrace each other, and say we are gentle.
That's the guy that can actually say to their faces, right, that they are criminals. They don't like it, but they are also very much kind of like comfy for the fact that it doesn't have what it takes yet to run them out of town. So they're not afraid of him per se, until maybe they'll be afraid of him. We'll see. So they are all gearing up for their 2027 charade, and every other night on Maiyegun's diary Politico, I'll be giving you the updates on what is happening, who is doing what, and who is saying what, who is going after who, and what is the latest from their preparation towards 2027. You can count on me. So like the broadcast if you haven't done that already. Okay, share it as well. And join me another time. If you can, I will see you then. So it's going to be a good night from here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay? Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun diary Politico. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.